Hello. Um, I'm Zion, for those who don't know me, and I am going to be recording my experience being a student at the London Academy of Music and Dramatic Arts. Yesterday was my first day, and I just wanted to get my thoughts and experiences out there. I don't expect anyone to really see this. Maybe my family, maybe a friend or two, but yeah, so I'm not really going to do a big introduction or anything because I need to leave for class in 25 minutes. And we had a lot going on yesterday, so I want to make sure that I hit everything. Okay, so yesterday was the 8th of September, 2025. I am in the MFA program for classical acting, but the first 12 months is the exact same as the MA program, which is a master's degree. So, this week is all about an introduction and an enrollment class. So, it was a lot of just introducing what we're doing and what we're talking about. I have a bunch of notes that I took in my little Starry Night notebook. So, I started here and I filled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 pages yesterday alone. So here we go. So I arrived at school. I'm walking to school. I'm living in Harlesden, which is by Wembley area. It's in Brent. So I'm about an hour's walk from the school, but I'm having a baby next month and I'm trying to be as cheap as possible. So I'm walking and saving the like 380 pounds that it would be to take the tube, which is like a subway. I have my ID card now, so that should be able to get me some student discounts and everything that I need to look into. But yeah, so also I'm not going to edit anything yet. We'll see how obnoxious this is and if people watch it or care, and then maybe I'll have better quality. Okay, so I got to the school 45 minutes early. I needed to be there by 9 for enrollment. For enrollment, all I did is I brought my passport. I submitted that. Um, and then they just made a photocopy of it. They scanned it in, and then I got my name tag. Let me make sure that I'm not giving away all of my information. Not really. I'll do this. This is my name tag. LAMDA student. Um, so then this back card, so there's two cards, and the back card allows me to get into the building and scan in and through. So I got my card, and then we were just getting to know people. In my program, the classical MFA and MA, there's 46 of us, and we're going to be divided this first term into three separate groups. There's 15 people in the first one, which is A, 15 people in the second one, which is B, my group, and 16 people in C, I believe. I think that's the one with 16. So most of what we're going to be doing this term, which is like the same as the semester, is we're going to be divided into these small groups. The reason why they pick 15, 16 is that was the same size of Shakespeare's original troupe, which were the Kingsmen. And so that's that. Okay. Ah, Bible clock. So we did enrollment, and I was one of the first people. I got in, I got my thing, and then we are just in this room, which was the John Wood studio. The John Wood studio. And that's just this big kind of practice room and studio where we'll be doing some classes. And then I just got to know people. I was getting to know a lot of people. I really care about names. I'm really bad at them. So I was getting to know people and then just reviewing names. Do, 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 do. Hi, I'm Zion. Um, I already had a little intro recorded on another video, but hopefully this will be able to work. I had a 5-minute limit on the last one, and so I'm just going to record something to get my thoughts down. Worst comes worst, I have to re-record it. I just want to document my experience as a student of the MFA Classical Acting program at the London Academy of Music and Dramatic Arts, LAMDA. LAMDA is the oldest drama school in the world, and it's the #1 drama school in the UK. So that's pretty cool. We started out with orientation, where I got my name tag and I got my um and they filmed my they scanned my passport, and then we had time to just get to know people. There are 46 people in my course of the classical acting, and we'll be separated into three groups. There's A, which has 15, I believe, B, which has 15, and C, which has 16. I'm in B, and that's because that's the same size that Shakespeare's troupe was, the Kingsmen. So after that, we had a break, and we just got to know people. A bunch of people went down to a cafe. Gales is the name of the cafe by Barron's Court. It's a Lambda hangout spot, and then we we went back and we met all of the leaders of the class of the disciplines. Let's see, let me pull it up. I took a bunch of notes, 15 pages. So the meaning of the principal and VP of acting. So we met all of the important people, and one of the super fascinating things about the school is the principal Philippa. When she became principal, she asked a bunch of the industry professionals, what is it that is most important to teach my students? And all the industry professionals, all the people working on the West End and in film and in TV and everything, they all said that punctuality is key. That in film and everything, like minutes cost thousands, hundreds of dollars, and in theater, it's just such an inconvenience if you're not on time. So if you show up late to the first class, you are locked out for the rest of the day, which is kind of crazy. So so it's super important to be punctual. Luckily enough, there is a warm up before most classes that starts 30 minutes before, and you do have three free late passes in the way. Like if you're late to warm up, they are mandatory, they are kept track of. But if you're late for the three warm ups, for three warm ups, then they'll be like, "What's going on? Why are you keeping late?" They said that if there's a tube strike or if your train comes late or whatever transportation issue you have, that's your responsibility to figure it out, and you shouldn't cut it that close. So, I'm walking. I'm about an hour's walk. I'm living in Harlesden, an hour north of Lambda, and so hopefully that won't be a problem. There's huge tube strikes this week, which is a great way to start. But since I'm trying to save as much money as possible with a baby on the way, I will be walking most of the time. Okay, I want to do this quick because I started like two other videos and they weren't working. But let's see. After we met the heads of disciplines, which isn't like discipline, but it's like the discipline of voice, the discipline of movement, the discipline of singing. We'll be doing a lot of singing, even though we're classical and not musical theater. Then we had another break. I ate lunch, met more of the students, started learning the names. And then lastly, we had our course leader intro and meet your year. So we went to the Collett House, which is a building right next to LAMDA's building. It's not like a university like in the United States where it's a huge campus. It's like one big long building, and then they rent out another separate small building um, that they have just like a long-term lease on. That's the Collett House. And that's where we were at the beginning. And it was fun. We all sat down in a big circle as we theater people are prone to do. And Ollie, our course leader, just introduced the class a little more. We got a feeling about what we're going to be doing. We'll be doing 3 full plays during this process. Um, I believe in general, August, the autumn term or the first term, which I just started, we're going to be focusing the first half on Shakespeare Romantic language scenes, and that'll be the first 5 weeks, and then the second half will be dedicated to Shakespeare's histories. So we'll do a course, a yeah, I'll probably not edit this, but maybe in the future I'll get better. Um, Lost my train of thought. Um, Scenes are a project. We'll have a project each term, each semester. And so first is Shakespeare Romantic language scenes. And then second half of this semester, autumn semester, is Shakespeare's history. Then we have winter break. Then we have spring term, which is second term. And the first half will be doing a Jacobean era, which is from like 1603. It's when King James of Scotland came in, because Queen Elizabeth was the one before with Elizabethan early Shakespeare. And so Jacobean, King James was obsessed with witches and like the occult, and so Macbeth is like appeasing everything that King James loved. He loved witches and the occult, and he's from Scotland, and so Macbeth was like for him specifically. The second half of next term will be the Spanish Golden Age, which will do another full play. We're on two. Jacobean will do a full play. Um, Spanish Golden Age will do a full play. And we'll either have a small character throughout the whole play or we'll have a part of a larger character. And then we'll have summer term, and we'll be focusing on the French classical scenes. Summer term, this is like the end-ish, because third term is just super long and crazy. But we'll be doing French classical scenes. We'll also do um, the scene projects that will go like the full term, and then we'll be doing restoration comedies. And I think we're just doing scenes from that. Yeah, but we'll get to have costumes for that because restoration is after a one of the kings. Was it James? I don't know. One of the kings was killed, and Oliver Cromwell, established the English Commonwealth. But he was a Protestant and he hated theater because he thought theater was pagan and devilish and stupid. So he outlawed theater. And then after they got rid of Cromwell, then we had the Restoration period where it was all about like crude jokes and just being ridiculous and unprotestant. Because you could. Then we'll have this move-in project and then the thesis project. The thesis project is super important and big because the thesis project is all about um is like what I'll be creating. It's a 20-minute self-created piece that is somewhat connected to Shakespeare or to our study. So for example, one girl, she decided to do a horror play, and it was based on the idea that Shakespeare did horror plays. And so 70% of that grade will be on the 20-minute presentation. We'll set up a whole little festival for ourselves and perform them for each other. It's over 5 days. It's going to be awesome. And then we'll have an interview section in which is an oral presentation of all of our research and everything we brought to it, and that's like 30%. Not like that is exactly 30%. And then after we finish our thesis, we're going to have a 2 to 3 week break in the middle of summer term. And then we're going to have 4 Shakespeare shows chosen, and we'll be cast in one of the 4. And then we'll work on that all of August. Then we'll have our showcases. We'll have a showcase in the UK, one in LA, Burbank, and one in Manhattan, NYC. So that's where we'll be like, hey, we've figured out this thing. And then they invite a bunch of casting directors, a bunch of agents, a bunch of representatives to be like, hey, do you want to represent this person? They're good. They could be a forever person. They could be a professional actor, which, is everyone's dream. They want to get represented and make a life from this. And then that's the gist of it. And so after that, we had a dance break where played I Want to Dance with Somebody, and we just like moved. And then we had some prompts of like, oh, now you're really serious, or dance with somebody, or like bring it in and just feel it, right? And we were just dancing. And that was delightful, super fun, big fan. And then we ended by getting into pairs with somebody we didn't know very well. And right, there's 46 people, and by this point I had learned everyone's name because I'm obsessive and I'm bad at it, but I care a lot. So we all when we sat in a circle, I was just like going over names. I was like, name, 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 name. We took a little break, I think after the dance or before we did the pairs, of getting to know each other. And we had 5 minutes to get to know each other, get to know their name, where they're from, hobbies and interests, favorite plays, something like that, and hopes and dreams. And then we all went in turns with our pairs and presented our pair to the class, which is super fun. I was with Madeline Thomas, and she's really cool. She's from Santa Barbara, California. She likes fantasy and outdoorsy things, and she wants to make this work and support her life and her dreams in creating art and acting. She's rad. Yeah. So that's the gist of it. And then we went 10 minutes over, and after that, everyone went to the pub because that's what you do in England. And it was fun. I don't drink, of course, so I didn't drink, but I just hung out there and just socialized a little more. That was day 1. I'll let you know day 2. Double time this if you want. Hopefully, I'll be good at getting things up and this will go all smoother and things will work well. But love you guys. Appreciate it. Day 1, Lambda. Day 2, I got 4 minutes before I gotta leave and I gotta put my shoes on and put all my stuff together. This is all my stuff. I gotta put it in my backpack over there. There's my room. So fancy. Okay.